Her hands wouldn't stop trembling. The little cafe on the corner of Maple Avenue in Boston smelled of roasted coffee beans and warm pastries. But for Emma Parker, the air felt too heavy to breathe. She sat at a small wooden table by the window, her heart pounding in a rhythm so loud she swore others could hear it. She smoothed the front of her pale blue dress, the one she had pulled out of the closet after staring at it for nearly an hour. Her first date in years, and her stomach twisted with equal parts hope and dread. But as she watched strangers laugh with ease, friends leaning across tables sharing secrets, and couples brushing fingertips over cups of cappuccino, she couldn't shake the thought that she didn't belong. She was a single mom, 32 years old, her life stitched together with work shifts, school pickups, and the silent nights after her daughter went to bed. She hadn't been on a date since her divorce 3 years ago, when her ex-husband left without explanation. Tonight was supposed to be her new beginning, yet all she felt was exposed, like the whole world could see through her nerves. Before we go deeper, if you believe in kindness and second chances, and in the small miracles that can change a life, please take a moment to like this video, comment, share it with someone who may need hope, and subscribe to our channel Hopeful Stories. Together, we spread light one story at a time. Emma had met Daniel through a friend's recommendation. He's kind, her friend had said, and he knows what it's like to rebuild life from the ground up. That had sounded safe enough, and for weeks, Emma had debated if she had the courage to say yes. But tonight, she had shown up. She'd taken the leap. And yet, as the minutes ticked by and Daniel didn't arrive, Emma's mind spiraled into darker corners. Maybe he had changed his mind. Maybe he took one look at her picture again and thought she wasn't worth it. Maybe she wasn't ready. Her phone buzzed on the table. A message. With trembling fingers, she opened it, only to see Daniel's words. Emma, I am so sorry. Emergency at work? I can't make it. I'll call you tomorrow to explain. The words blurred in her vision. Emma's throat tightened as though someone had wrapped invisible cords around it. Of course. Why would tonight be any different? Why had she dared to believe her life could shift towards something new? Heat rushed to her cheeks, embarrassment seeping into every corner of her being. She had dressed up, done her makeup, worn shoes that pinched her toes. And here she was, alone in a crowded cafe, her first date canceled. She considered leaving right away, but she couldn't bring herself to stand up. She worried that everyone around her had already noticed her rejection. Instead, she lowered her gaze, staring at the faint steam rising from the untouched latte the barista had delivered minutes earlier. It was then, when her heart was at its lowest, that a quiet gesture changed everything. A waitress with kind eyes approached, carrying a folded piece of paper with the cafe's receipt tucked inside. "This is for you," she said softly, placing it on Emma's table before walking away without further explanation. Confused, Emma hesitated before opening the note. The handwriting was neat, slanted slightly, written in blue ink. "I don't know what you're going through, but I can see you're waiting for someone who hasn't come. Please don't take it as a reflection of your worth. You are enough, just as you are. Sometimes life closes one door because it's leading you to another. Don't give up on love or on yourself. A stranger who believes in you." Tears welled in Emma's eyes, her chest tightening not from despair, but from an unfamiliar, piercing warmth. She glanced around, scanning the room for who might have written it. But everyone seemed caught in their own conversations, laughter and stories. It could have been anyone. The elderly man reading a newspaper, the young woman typing furiously on her laptop, the couple feeding each other bites of cake. Whoever it was, their words had reached her like sunlight breaking through heavy clouds. Emma clutched the note, letting herself cry quietly. For so long, she had hidden her vulnerability, trying to appear strong for her daughter and the world. But here, in this tiny cafe, someone had seen through her silence, reminding her that she wasn't invisible, that kindness could still find her. That night, she didn't go home immediately. She sat in the cafe for another hour, sipping her latte slowly, the words of the note echoing through her heart. And for the first time in a long while, she let herself believe that maybe her story wasn't over. Over the next week, Emma carried the note in her purse like a shield. When self-doubt crept in, when she questioned if she was worth loving again, she reread those lines. She told herself that someone, a stranger, had cared enough to lift her up when she was breaking. That couldn't be meaningless. When Daniel finally called to apologize properly, explaining the chaos of his job, Emma listened but felt no pressure to continue. She realized she no longer needed validation from him or anyone to feel worthy. Instead, she began focusing on herself and her daughter, slowly embracing the idea that healing and love didn't have to come in one dramatic swoop. Sometimes, it was found in the smallest acts of grace. Months later, Emma found herself back in the same cafe, this time with her daughter, Lily, who was 7 years old and full of questions. Lily had inherited Emma's warm brown eyes, though hers still sparkled with unshaken innocence. As they shared a chocolate muffin, Lily asked, "Mom, why are you smiling at that napkin?" Emma hadn't realized she was staring at the folded note again, tucked into her journal. She brushed her daughter's cheek and whispered, "Because it reminds me that kindness is real, sweetheart, and that we should always pass it on." Life slowly began to change. Emma started volunteering at a community shelter on weekends, inspired by the anonymous note. She found joy in listening to others' stories, offering encouragement where she could. Each time she handed someone a meal or a blanket, she remembered how a stranger's words had fed her spirit when she was empty. A year later, on an ordinary spring afternoon, Emma returned to the cafe. This time, she wasn't trembling. She had arranged to meet someone she had met through the shelter, a man named Michael, who had once come unbroken but rebuilt his life step by step. As they sat across from each other, conversation flowed easily, not weighed down by expectation but lifted by understanding. They laughed about small things, exchanged stories about resilience, and Emma realized something. She wasn't nervous anymore. As the sun dipped lower, casting golden light across the cafe floor, Emma reached in her purse and touched the note again. It no longer felt like a lifeline, but a reminder of where she had come from, of how hope had found her in the quietest way. And she knew, deep down, that even if life didn't unfold perfectly, she would never again doubt her worth. To everyone watching this story right now, if Emma's journey has touched your heart, I ask you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Hopeful Stories, and share it with someone who might be waiting for a sign that they are not alone. Your engagement helps us bring more real, human stories of light to the world. And before we end, I'd like to ask you something special. In the comments below, please share a time when a stranger's kindness touched your life. Your story may be the hope someone else needs today. Emma's life wasn't defined by one canceled date. It was defined by the moment she discovered that even when one chapter closes painfully, another can open with unexpected beauty. And sometimes, all it takes is a single note, written by an unseen hand, to remind us that love, kindness, and second chances are always within reach.